First, a few reflections on the Vertu Trophy in the week. I know you went with a fairly strong lineup, made a few changes as well. I imagine it was quite disappointing how it played out after getting the equaliser.
Yeah, that was probably the most disappointing factor from the game, really. I thought we started slow, but then after 10 or 15 minutes of getting to grips with the game, I thought we dominated, really. And then starting the second half strongly and getting that equaliser to have the red card so soon after that was the big disappointment, really. Such fine margins in terms of games, red cards or the slight lapse of concentration in certain moments end up costing us. So, yeah, look, that was the disappointing factor. I think in terms of the team, I think regardless of the changes that we made, I think we'll still look strong because people like Vimal hasn't played enough minutes, or John Russell, or Mal, or Jake Rooney, and these guys. So I think regardless of the changes, we'll still look particularly strong in that competition for sure.
Have you got any complaints about the red card?
No, none whatsoever. Real moment of poor discipline from Blandy. He's aware of that. He knows that. We've had a good conversation around it already this morning. So yeah, it's one of them that, look, I'm a huge fan of Blandy's. He plays with such maturity at 19, and he's just had a real lapse of concentration from that point of view. So a steep learning curve for him, one that will hurt him, one that will hurt me because, ultimately, in my opinion, it cost us the result. He's well aware of that. But I've got a real soft spot for Brandy because the way he trains and plays and the way he's been playing, as a 19-year-old in the middle of this team so far this season has been pretty impressive, really.
One of those situations, I imagine, that might kind of speed up his progress in a way because it's a big learning curve, a bit of adversity for him to deal with.
Yeah, well, I think he's probably his development is sped up quite quickly, really. He was at Peterborough Sports halfway through last year, and all of a sudden, kind of 6 months later, not even probably 3-4 months later after that, he played 10 games for me in all different positions. And then obviously he's been a huge part of coming back into pre-season and creating the culture and training properly, and he's always one of the best trainers every day. So his development has excelled for a 19-year-old, and it's credit to him with the work and the information he's taken on board and the mindset. And he's just had one of them poor moments in a young person's career that hopefully will be a once-off, and he learns from it and comes out stronger on the other side.
Is the suspension competition specific, or will he miss league games?
No, just the competition, which has probably eased the pain on that a little bit.
Some surprise news this week that the club's sporting director, Martin Solmaz, has left by mutual consent. Your reaction on that and kind of the loss to the club of what Mladen's brought over the last 18 months or so?
Yeah, first and foremost, obviously, just a thanks to Mladen from my side. He was a big involvement in giving me the interim and then obviously permanently as well. So a big thanks for from that point of view. Our relationship was always very, very good. Constantly in dialogue and trying to make decisions day to day for the club and for the better of the club. And yeah, I just wish him nothing but the best moving forward. Really good guy, and the club has obviously and himself has taken the decision just to go a different way. So yeah, look, it's one of them things that is not nice for anyone when they move on, but it's just a decision that everyone's probably taken, to have, really.
I imagine as far as recruitment comes, it was a vital relationship, yours with him over the last, certainly the window in the summer and maybe some time before when you were coaching as well.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, obviously, look, over the summer that obviously became stronger when the window kicked in. The dialogue in terms of transfer window didn't really start until I got the role permanently. But yeah, look, that's the kind of relationship you have with your sporting director, and obviously with John Flatman, the CEO, as well. So, there's constant dialogue between the three of us, with transfers and summer windows and whatnot. So, yeah, look, it's something that obviously won't be involved in terms of the three-way conversations now. It's obviously with Mladen moving on. So, yeah, look, I wish him nothing but the best moving forward, and no doubt he'll get another very, very good role in the near future.
Do you know if the club has any plans to replace him, and any idea on timescales with that?
No, nothing whatsoever. I think I think it's a little bit of reflecting, let the dust settle, and see what's best for everyone moving forward is probably the priority for that now.
Are you happy then to take on a little bit more responsibility from a recruitment perspective if the club doesn't bring in somebody else?
Well, if I'm being honest, I probably take a responsibility everywhere really, in terms of not just the club wanting me to take responsibility. It's just the pressure I put on myself really, so it's not really from the club's perspective that they want me to take more responsibility. I just put a lot of responsibility on myself, whether that's everyday training, whether that's organising of travel schedule, whatever that might be. I take a lot of responsibility on getting things right on my day-to-day decisions. So if more decisions from recruitment come my way as well, then I'll take it on the shoulders and we'll move on in the right direction.
So the squad ahead of this weekend, anyone missing? Anyone back? Patrick Kelly, where's he at? All that
Yeah.
stuff?
Pat's dragged on a little bit more that we would like. I was really keen for him to be involved on Tuesday, but it's just dragged on a couple of days more than what we would have liked. But definitely, he's had a really good, strong week on the grass. And if he comes through training today, he'll be involved at the weekend.
And nothing else from anyone else, either fresh issues or anyone else returning?
No, nothing from anything else. The people that obviously weren't in the squad was just down to rotation and trying to give people a little bit of a rest.
Clearly, you're still very much in the top 10 with a game in hand on most clubs, but I imagine you'll feel it's important to end your losing run at the minute as soon as possible.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think there's no getting away from that. We're in a little bit of a challenging period. All of a sudden, the last 10 days, kind of scratching my head, going, "How has this happened?" Because the work hasn't changed. We've stayed very, very consistent. Messages have been really, really, same really in terms of familiar to the players. Yes, a little bit of tweaks here and there, depending on the opposition, of course, but really consistent in our work. And yeah, it will stay consistent, and it will say the process will stay the same. And hopefully, obviously, I'm a firm believer, as always, whether it was my playing career or coaching career, that the hard work will come through and pay off. So the sooner, obviously, we kind of end the run, the better for everyone, of course. But look, it's a little bit of a challenging period, but I've been through a lot more challenging, that's for sure, whether that's playing or at the start of my interim. So I'm sure me and the lads and the group and the staff and the club will be just fine.
Have you seen any kind of concerning themes, or the start of any concerning themes, or is this just potentially a bit of natural variance in a season as things progress with the new group?
No, I think it's just literally fine moments, if I'm being honest. I think a red card the other night, no getting away, that it completely changed the momentum in the game. Last second goal against Blackpool, that could have been dealt with a lot better and cleaner. There's a Premier League club involved in that run as well, which can turn up to any kind of League One, League Two team and give you a hiding. At times you see the odds, mad result like Grimsby or whatnot, and you try and set your stall high, and you never know, but they can easily come and turn you over as well. So look, it's been really fine margins in terms of the last 4 games, but the sooner we kind of end this run, the better. And look, we're a game behind a lot of teams. Over the international break, we'll become 2 games behind a lot of teams. So if we could get a result at the weekend and then be a couple games behind people, it puts us in a decent place.
Wycombe up next. Michael Duff, clearly somebody very well known to Barnsley Football Club, has just gone in there. He's had 3 games in charge. Have you managed to gauge what he's done and what a Michael Duff Wycombe looks like and the challenge that it'll pose?
Yeah, absolutely. We've been watching them all week, as we always do on oppositions. Obviously, look, we're only watching the last 3 games because they definitely look a little bit different. Look, we've got our thoughts on how the team will look and what we're expecting from them. Watching the game obviously last weekend against AFC Wimbledon, they'll be looking to bounce back themselves from a little bit of a setback. So look, another interesting challenge, one that we've got to be ready for, and one that will be fully prepared.
Is his Barnsley side the one of recent years that you're kind of looking to emulate and potentially even go one better in time?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's definitely different styles in terms of way of playing. He was more of a 5 at the back. Obviously, we obviously playing a 4 currently, but in terms of the amount of games that he won and was so close to getting promoted to the Championship, absolutely, you know. So I think in recent years, like you said, he was the kind of the most connected to fans and to the club. Which was something that we've tried to do over the course of the summer. So from that point of view, there's definitely similarities that you try and take from his reign, as he was so close, you know, to getting over the line.
And just finally, day 2 of Prostate United 2025. Great to see yourself and a number of the staff involved. How's it going? How do you feel about running every day for the next month, or is that something you do anyway?
Well, I try and do it. If I'm honest, I definitely try and do 2 or 3 runs a week anyway. So it's something that's you know, quite natural to me. Like to keep fit, you know, clears my head a little bit when I've got a couple of decisions to make. So yeah, it's just probably adding the extra 2 or 3 onto the back of the 2 or 3 I already do. So look, it's for a great cause. I did it last year. With the staff here, and we wanted to continue it. Some of the academy have got involved with us this year, which is great. And it's yeah, ultimately it's for the cause that overrides anything else.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, Barnsley was one of the first clubs to get involved with the challenge back in the day. So does it feel like you're kind of contributing to a wider thing and being part of something that's become a huge force for good across the country?
Yeah, exactly that. I think we wanted to keep it going last year. People did it, and we're trying to you know, broaden the circle a little bit. Like I said, there's quite a few academy people doing it now as well. Obviously, look, we won't do every run together in terms of days off and how it looks, but look, once everyone does it and takes part, and I'm big on the honesty on your days off. You need to show me proof that you do it, please, because I'm sure people are doing it, but you know, I want to see the proof at the same time, because there's some days where you know, will I do it or will I not? But no, you have to do it. It would absolutely eat away at me every second of every day if I didn't do it correctly. So yeah, no, look, brilliant cause, and like you just touched on, hopefully we can get together for a run down the line.
Great stuff. Thank you, Conor.
Cheers, Pat. Cheers.
Kind of just on Wycombe style of play, obviously the previous manager I think was quite possession based. Michael Duff's got a different style to that. Have you seen a very quick turnaround in the last 3 games, or is it still a bit of a transitional period and a mix between those styles? Yeah,
probably a little bit of a mix. Look, obviously, any manager tries to put their stamp on it ASAP in terms of how they want to play and how they want their team to look. And obviously, Michael's tried to do that over the course of 3 games. So, yeah, look, it's a little bit different, but I think ultimately he wants to go in and put his stamp on things. And, you know, he definitely has done that in terms of a couple of positive results out of the 3 so far. So we know we've got a tough test ahead.
Imagine you'll still have a good away following, but it is a bit of a tough kick-off time, 12:30, sort of 4 hours away. I mean, obviously good commitment for any fans that go down there, and as always, you're looking to reward them.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Like you said, 12:30 in London is not easy for people, so you know, I know that the following will still be first class, no doubt. And one that we're all looking forward to seeing down there. Now it's up to us, obviously, to create a bit of a volume and an atmosphere with our performance over anything else, and hopefully we can, you know, send them home happily as well.
Obviously, after that, you've got 2 weeks to sort of, you know, work on the training ground and maybe get, you know, a few bodies a bit rested. But obviously, it'd be quite an important game for going into that on at least some kind of high after this little bit of a bad run.
Yeah, I think so. I think that would be the ultimate aim. Now, can we, you know, put to bed this kind of run that, you know, teams have over the course of every season. You know, it's ultimately how quick you can come through it, and you know, we've had a couple of disappointing results, 2 in the league, 2 in the cups, and hopefully come Saturday we can go into that break with a positive outlook on things. And I think if we do get a good result, regardless of these last 4 games, we'll be in a pretty decent position.
You mentioned after the game on Tuesday that you'd have liked to change more players in attacking areas if you could, to give them a rest, but obviously you don't have the numbers. Is there sort of not quite getting another forward in late in the window? Is it hindering you a little bit?
No, I don't think so. I think I don't think it's hindering us, but in terms of rotation, you know, would I've liked to, you know, maybe not play Dave up potentially. You know, I wanted to obviously get him off the pitch at a certain stage, because I wanted to give Faz a go, because Faz is a bright prospect. But at the same time, I want to take this competition seriously, and I want to try and get through. So, yeah, look, it means that certain lads will have to play more minutes, but you know, with our international games being off, the last one and this one, we've got 2 weeks after it to get some rest into lads as well.
Thanks, Conor. Cheers.
Hi, Connor.
Oh, yeah.
I hope you well. Something that Michael said when he was at Barnsley stuck when he said teams can play well 7 or 8 times a season, 7 or 8 times a season they play badly, but it's the other 20, 30 odd games where you don't necessarily play well, but you grind out a result. Is that something Barnsley got to get better at really? Sometimes when you're not really bang at it, just nicking a result and getting more consistent on that level.
Yeah, I think looking at our game so far, I think we've probably had a couple of them already, in my opinion. I think Plymouth away down to 10 men, grinded that out, got a win. Burton Albion at home, not at our best, 2-0 down, come back and got a win. So from that point of view, I think we've probably already had a couple really. I think the only one to add to that list that we didn't get a result from is Port Vale, in my opinion. It was flat and didn't really come through it and obviously get a result. I still think the AFC Wimbledon game, we had quite a few chances to turn that result around. But I think in terms of changing a couple of results, I think probably Port Vale off the top of my head is probably the one that I am probably disappointed with in terms of performance and never really looking like getting back into the game either at times.
It's I looked at the numbers. Is it a little bit of? It's not really a big issue. Is it a little bit of a concern? I think you're sort of 6th or 7th in the first half table, and you're about 19th in the second half. Is that a little sort of finishing game second half? Is that a little bit of a could be an issue potentially?
It depends how much you want to look into it. I think you go back to again the fine lines of it. Red card at Bolton, cost us in terms of a late goal there. Lapse in concentration at Blackpool cost us there. So it's such fine lines. I think it will steady out over the course of the season. And right now, obviously, the stats stay is what it is. But I do think that it's just little moments that are probably saying that first half over second half right now. I think if you look at the way we started, Notts County the other night, second half, I know it's not a league game, but came out strong. Reading at home started the second half really, really strong. So yeah, it's a case of let's see where we are maybe around December, January times in terms of them kind of stats.
You've got some good senior players, I suppose. Now when you're having these little bits of stickables, this is where you really want to see them leading by example in training and setting the tone. You've got some good ones there. I dare say that you'll be seeing that.
Yeah, I think so. I think you lean on them guys now to kind of lead the way a little bit when you go through a little bit of a patch. We are a young team. You speaking about Blandy and Vermael and Patrick Kelly and Jack Shepherd. I know he's not young, but he's probably not played loads of games at this level. So yeah, you're looking for a little bit of guidance from the older lads. Robbo now is back in training as well, which is a real positive sign. He's getting back to being involved after the international break. So yeah, he's another one that's coming back at a really, really good time. So yeah, you're looking at them lads now for a little bit of guidance and a little bit of we can show you the way, lads, type of thing.
I was going to ask you about Robbo, funnily enough. I mean, it seems to be this time it'd be handy having him back in the reckoning. And are you thinking he might be an option for the draft again potentially?
That might come too short in terms of starting games for Robbo, but in terms of him being in training and kind of maybe making the bench for that one is a potential. Obviously, over the next couple of weeks now, when we don't have a game after Wycombe, he needs to have a couple of strong weeks on the grass and then maybe revisit it from there. But he's definitely in a good place right now.
I was just going to ask you sort of finally about Millard, and he's obviously gone. I mean, it's a Sport Directors League, but it seems to be it won't necessarily impact on you too much. It feels like you and John did a lot of the work as well in the summer in terms of getting players over the line. You're very hands-on as well, so I think it sounds like the disruption will be sort of minimal, really.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's important that we keep moving in the right direction and there's not too much disruption. Look, obviously Mladen did his fair share of work. There's no getting away from that. He was brilliant. Yeah. But me and John are obviously really, really close. We liaise and talk to each other non-stop. And unless told any different, that would be the relationship moving forward.
Have you done much for January so far or anything like that?
Yeah, a little bit of planning, a little bit. Obviously, look, it's a little bit away, but there has been, short conversations in terms of, what do we think moving forward. So, yeah, them kind of things are taking place gradually at the minute.
And you're a workaholic anyway, I suppose, doing 12 hours, 14-hour days. You'd probably be doing that anyway by the sound of it, with all the stuff you do at the club and things.
Yeah, it's pretty non-stop, Leon, to be honest with you. Whether I want to or not, I just can't stay away from it. trying to put it right in at the crack of dawn this morning, and we'll be here till 5 or 6 o'clock this evening, and then I'll go to Rotherham and Bradford to watch that game because we got Bradford after the international break. So it's pretty relentless, but you've got to do it, and that's why I believe that the work will come through in the end.